Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to my show. I'm your host, Diana Bellerosa, award-winning and best-selling author, The Journey of Transformation, The White Within, and Fire and Ice. You can find out more about me on my website, dianabellerosa.com, as well as download my podcast. Please push the button subscribe and let me know what you think about the things I have covered so far, the guests I have invited, and what kind of a topic you wish me to cover. So today we have very powerful, amazing woman who does incredible things to help the planet and make a difference in the human life. Her name is Valentina Castellani. She's a producer, and she's owner of the QUINN Studios Entertainment. Valentina Castellani was born in Florence, Italy, where her family owns the 18,000s, an opera house theater, the Teatro Verdi. Her grandfather, Riccardo Castellani, was one of the most important producers and distributors of the golden era of Italian cinema. The family owned the most important opera theater in Florence since early 1800s. The Teatro Verdi, growing up behind the stage, watching operas, plays, and ballet, had a strong influence on her. So she's with us today, and she cannot wait to share with us her life, as well as for us to listen and to find out what her life looked like in Italy. Hi, Valentina Castellani. Welcome to my show. I'm so grateful to have you today.
Diana, it's such a privilege and a pleasure talking to you. I love your book, and I'm excited to speak with you guys today. As an Italian citizen, of course, and living in the United States, I get asked often right now about the situation in Italy. And, of course, it is serious, but it's also uplifting to know that they're going to get better. But I'm here to talk about things that uplift even higher our spirit.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah, we need people like these, people who can tell the world that everything is going to be fine and we are all impacted, and it's time for all of us to understand how much we are connected and how much we need each other.
Exactly, Diana. So, very well said.
Yeah, tell us please about yourself first, and then we want to learn about you, the documentary White Snake.
Yes. As you mentioned, in fact, I come from a very ancient family in Florence. My grandfather owned, and since 2 centuries before even him, the most important opera theater in Florence, the Teatro Verdi, which is kind of like the popular La Scala in Milan. I know that many Americans have been there, so they can envision the same kind of theater in Florence. And so I grew up obviously behind the stages and watching beautiful classic music concerts, ballet, theater, opera, and so forth. And also my grandfather was one of the greatest producers and distributors of the golden era of Italian cinema. You said that before, in fact. So I do carry a wonderful legacy. My former husband, Francesco Quinn, was the son of Anthony Quinn and an award-nominated actor as well. Many can remember him in his performance in Platoon. So between the two legacies in the family, we have plenty of entertainment industry experience and history. And since Francesco died about 8 years ago, I created a production studio to continue the Queen legacy in the entertainment, films, the arts, and I was very blessed in that journey. And since the first project, which was a TV series on cycling, that followed the Giro d'Italia, and that was, the cycling was the greatest passion of Francesco, I continued with co-producing a film, The Butterfly's Dream, that was candidate for an Oscar and a Golden Globe in 2014, a documentary about peace in the Middle East, One Rock, Three Religions, that did win the U.S. Congress Award, the Human Rights Award, and many other. I think in total there were 15 international awards that the film won, and it was an amazing journey for me, an amazing learning curve. Currently, I am filming a documentary with the Native Americans, and it's about the tribes and alternative energies to oil. And basically, it's a journey that starts from the Standing Rock saga. I'm sure that you're all familiar with what happened in the Native American reservation, North America, and the pollution of the oil pipeline and the sacred Native American waters. And I am still filming, and I had the privilege to film and become very close to Chief Arvol Looking Horse, which is kind of like the Pope of the Native American tribes around North and South America. And we developed a very, very special connection that led me to understand in deep this wonderful, wonderful population that is the Native American, that is often forgotten in this country, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm totally agree. People have forgotten the Native people, the first citizens of America, and we shouldn't do that, and we should be, being connected, and we see how important it is, especially right now, to be connected to each other.
Especially right
how
now.
Much,
yes.
Yeah, so important. So my next question for you is, what made you documentary for the Native people for especially this topic? What made you think about them?
You know, Diana, we were in the process. This comes from the previous project before the White Snake, which is the title of the Native American project. And we were in the process, myself and the director, Isaac Hertz, to film our documentary about peace in the Middle East. And that's One Rock, Three Religions. And we were in Washington, D.C., and we were filming a beautiful interview with Ambassador Woolsey, which is the former director of the CIA, and is also the main founder of the U.S. Energy Security Council, which is that government organization that basically is fighting to eliminate or reduce our dependency from oil. And when we started this conversation, and at the time it was obviously much more politically geared towards the Middle East. But of course, when it comes to politics and diplomacy, it comes very close to oil because all the politics in the end are geared around the movement and the flow of oil around the world. And so while we were in the conversation, we realized that there was so much material and questions that we wanted to ask about oil and the politics. And from that point, myself and Isaac Hurst thought, this is a completely different and new film, because the material and what we want to ask, what we want to film is so much more than just a couple of questions that are pertinent to the oil situation. And so we started to map out this new film. And the fact is, Diane, that I never want to do just a political film. I am originally Italian, so of course my emotions are very connected with my form of creativity. Any film I do, anything I do in life, I would say. And I also think that when we connect with emotions, we do understand anything better, especially a film or a difficult topic. So to me, it wasn't enough to make a documentary about oil and alternative energies to oil. When I started to read in the papers that the Native Americans were gathering together, all the tribes, for the first time from the famous declaration that was early 1900, where then all the tribes got divided and enemies almost of one another, I thought, this could be actually very interesting because it's about the pipeline and their fight for the sacred water, but also it's a fight for their identity. And very soon I understood that was basically a fight, a micro example of humanity versus technology badly applied. And I realized that if we were taking the Native Americans as a micro example of what's happening to the global society, we would have a much better communication and connection to anybody, because we all resonate to the Native Americans. They are kind of embodying this micro society that is so connected with the spiritual world, the nature, and the elements, And if there is one good thing that we carry as sacred is the Native American for this connection, and everybody in the world resonate with that. So I thought, I would love to go to Standing Rock and start filming in there and have the Native Americans as the storyteller of this journey. And so as very adventurous filmmakers, and we shot in Gaza previously, in war zones, and all this kind of stuff, we just packed our camera, and myself, the cameraman, and the sound person, just us, went to Standing Rock, which was it's in South Dakota, and it was minus 30 degrees, and we filmed in there for 5-6 days, and we filmed also with Chief Orvol, and became very close to these people, and especially the chief. So that's how this film started, and how we connected the Native Americans to the whole story.
Yeah, that's amazing. From what I can hear you want to unite people, and you want them to get in touch with their spiritual side, because all the documentaries I see kind of similarity what I'm trying to do, because what's going on in one place impacts the whole world, and here is the example what's going on right now again. So it's really important for the people, to get in touch with the spiritual side we carry inside, and this includes compassion, kindness, and love. So pivotal these days, and it's amazing. What are you doing? Like you said, you try to put 2-3 religions together, because religion is important and very sensitive topic, but religion, we have different religions, so we can learn from each other and admire each other. We don't have the same religion. I know you're Catholic, and I feel it's really important for all of us to admire each other and to use our emotional intelligence in order to make things, even to speed up things when it comes to connection, because connection is the most important part.
Very much so. And, I became very close also to His Holiness the Dalai Lama. We filmed with him for the film One Rock, Three Religions. And one of most profound, we filmed with him in Italy, and then we were here together in the States, and then in India. And one of the most profound things that I heard him saying is that we don't need to be religious to be connected. We just need to be ethical people. So I think that this fighting for religions is useless in the time we're living, and we can simply connect through common ethics that should be common by now. And especially through crisis, we can discover common ethics and apply common ethics and connect that way.
Absolutely. Just I like this, take everything that you feel it works for you and make the world better place and makes your vision better, take from every religion something that works and put it together and see how similar we are in so many ways and what we are trying to accomplish, So it's really important, and this is going to change a lot of things in the society we live in on a global level, because it's really important. We are more the same than we feel like we are different, This is something that probably is going to take time until people realize.
Absolutely, and more, the media, the politicians, the newspaper tends to divide us, but at the level of the people, I sized it myself, even with the conflict between Israel and Palestine. At the level of the people, there is so much more people and groups that like to connect with each other. They live together in harmony, and they want peace. And I think this reflects the majority of humankind around the world.
Yeah, absolutely. We need to start doing something, and we need people who can, leaders who can open eyes and who can, make people understand that we are all connected. That's the most important part, and we need each other, and we need to start awakening this light we carry inside, this love, this compassion, so we can, build a new world and save the world we live in. And it's absolutely heartbreaking what's going on in Gaza right now. I don't know. I have been following for a while. I have a lot of friends from Gaza, and I feel that it's absolutely, war without any, justification. And I feel that things can, be solved different, not the way they are right now, and it's heartbreaking.
I tell you, one of the most beautiful momentum of that entire film, One Rock to Religions, was this screening that we scheduled at the Jerusalem University. And that was 2 years ago during the 2 days of the stabbing of the people. I'm sure that you read it in the paper. It was 2 very terrible days that people were stabbing each other in Jerusalem. And therefore, the World Jewish Congress did lock us inside a building for security and safety, because it was the extremists were quite aggressive, and they were stabbing all kind of people, not just Jewish, but people that were walking down the streets, kids, elders, all kind of stuff. So, and at the time, I was in Jerusalem, and this was the morning. In the evening, by 7 p.m., we had this screening, and everybody was very worried, and they wanted to cancel the screening. And I said, no, this is exactly the film. This is exactly what we are trying to communicate to people through this film, if we're using this film as a good tool. And so I said, no, we keep the screening going. We will open the doors of the university, and we will be waiting everybody in the screening room. If nobody comes, then okay, we all go back home. If it's differently, then this movie is confirming that we are making a difference, and that we're not just a small group of filmmakers wanting this, but is actually a whole tribe that wants this. And sure enough, it's 7 p.m., and we open the doors of the university, and little by little, we see people coming from all faiths, Muslim, Jewish, Christians, young, elders, kids, coming. We were 300 people in that screening room in a night where Jerusalem was completely deserted. And yet we were all together and wanting the same thing and willing to talk to each other and willing to be friendly, to communicate and to listen to each other. That was, in my advice, the best screening we had in the entire campaign, although we then screened at U.S. Congress, at United Nations, all over the world, but that one was the film itself happening live.
Yeah, and everything is real, and there are no actors and actresses, which is the most amazing thing, and it proves that we all want the same thing. We want peace,
Yes.
We want connection, we want love, we want to get rid of all the darkness and everything that hurts us, and it doesn't give anything good to us. It's a society,
Yes.
It's a global society. Yeah, it's so important. This is something that we need to accomplish, and we need to understand that we want the same thing.
Yes, more than ever now. We don't even need to go on the crisis and the virus. These days, I try to stay away from this word and topic, not because I'm not acknowledging what's going on, but I want to think beyond what's going on, and I want to see also the positive results that I am confident will be there. Because I can see already, even in our industry, how much more awareness this period of solitude and crisis brought in Hollywood, Los Angeles, the United States, and the entire world.
Yeah, it's time to awake that we are not enemies to each other, and how much we need us. We need each other when there is another enemy like this virus, for example, and how much, we need to, it's awakening time. That's how I call it, eye-opening time.
A very, very eye-opening time. Said that, I think it's also a time, where we need lightness, positivity, and joy. Not everything has to be prominent, profound, and important. I think the joy and lightness is also a very, very important way of being that is so much needed right now. And at this purpose, actually, we just finished a beautiful TV series on jazz, and it's the story. It takes place in the 1940s here in Los Angeles, and it's the story of a group of kids from high school that put together a jazz band. And the band is called the Knights of Swing, and that's the name of the TV series as well. And we just finished, and I'm so excited to come out with the TV series as soon as this turmoil is finished, because it will bring a lot of lightness. And through history, we can see how it is through creativity and the arts that humanity always overcome crisis. Through the past, the Dark Ages, followed through the Renaissance time in Florence. If we had the Renaissance time in Florence and artists such as Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, and on, Raffaello, it's because there were dark ages before that needed to be overcome. And they did, the humanity, overcome that kind of period through creativity. And so I really do believe that. I'm an artist myself, but as a filmmaker, I think it's so, so important to remember that and to keep being creative, because we do need this light of positivity, of creativity to inspire us, to bring us joy and lightness in heavy times.
Absolutely. I'm an artist also, and I do a lot of painting also. And, we as an artist, we need to do our work, and we need to try our best to make sure that we'll be able to help others to open their eyes and to through our art and make a difference, no matter how difficult is the road and how difficult it is to awake people. We need to keep doing it because this is our purpose. That's why we are here, and what we do makes a difference, huge difference in the life of others, but it's a slow process. That's the thing.
Very much so, Diane, very much.
So what else you would like to share? Because this show is basically about the movie White Snake. How important is the nature for the native people? I know they're very connected to the earth and they're very spiritual. How important is for them to preserve their land, and what exactly you saw in them that it kind of made you think about other things?
Of course, yes. Well, first of all, I feel very grateful and very blessed that they allowed me to enter their society, their land, their beliefs, history, traditions, etc. As you know, they are very secretive people. They are wounded people. Therefore, they do not trust the white man, as they call us. Very much. They are, secluded in small stretches of land that are, it's usually not very well developed or lacks of water. Besides the South Dakota reservations, which are, where there is the rivers, so there is plenty of water out there, but you have to understand that this is people that live in nature, that build their teepees or their so-called houses within nature. They were not ever interested to create cities or stuff, because their city, their temple is nature itself. Their rituals, spiritual ceremonies, they're all around the elements, mainly the 4 elements: fire, water, air, and earth. But also the movement of nature and the way nature speaks to them from their prophecies, which is their way to believe. They believe through prophecies, and that's actually where the title, the White Snake, comes. One of their most important prophecy is the Black Snake prophecy. And it's a prophecy from ancient time that they carry on in the Native American belief that speaks about a dark era that is actually about to end right now. And it is symbolized by a dark black snake. And they kind of allegorically made the oil and the oil pipeline the dark snake, because unfortunately oil brings pollution not just at the level of the nature, but also in society, politically, with people and country in turmoil, etc. And so it is an era that is built on pollution of all kinds and corruption. And fortunately, right now, as Chief Orval explained to me, we are at the end of that era, and an era of rebirth of consciousness is coming up for humanity, where humanity will resonate with at the same heartbeat of the planet, to talk in their language. And it is an era that is starting from now, with the recognition of our failure and the reflection on a better way to live our life and live with one another. And nature, basically, as Chief Orval was explaining to me, is giving a sign of this coming up of a white era by having animal being born completely white. And it is funny that since the time he explained this to me, I've seen in the news or documentary or just even myself in nature, animals like white deers, white giraffes, all kind of animal being born white. And in their prophecy, that's the sign that nature is giving to announce a time of purification, of purity. That's why the animals are white, basically. So,
Wow.
and this is just said in very, very simple terms, but so that everybody can understand. I recall the moment when Chief Parvol told me this prophecy, and I was just speechless. The energy that him and in general these people embody is quite sacred itself. And when they tell us these prophecies, it's just an unprecedented moment, that really resonate with us at such a profound level.
Absolutely. Wow, that's beautiful. That's amazing. Yeah, that's
Yes.
the truth. Yeah. We need this purification, and the whole 220 is going to be year like this. Year of awakening, and for people to understand that some things don't have place in our life anymore, and we need to and some changes are taking place. So this is absolutely beautiful.
Yes. Now we are through crisis. Unfortunately, men always learn through crisis. It is very seldom that mankind, do learn through joy. We learn through crisis.
Yeah.
It's a bit of how our mind is formed, So we needed, obviously, to hit the crisis to really sit down, reflect, and learn. But I think we are all doing it pretty much right now. I have friends all over the world, in Europe, France, Italy, Spain, England, and here, and people is starting to adopt a different language and different words, and that's because they adopt a different way of thinking.
Yeah. Things happen for a reason. I always tell people there is a message behind it. Yeah, absolutely. We are at the end of the show, Valentina. Would you like to share anything else with the listeners today? What do you want to tell them?
Well, I would love to keep in connection with you, Diane, first of all, and keep you updated about the documentary. Hopefully we can resume filming very soon. We will be filming also with the indigenous in the Amazon forest, which is a part of the tale. As you know, there is a lot of this deforestation in Ecuador and in Brazil as well due to oil drilling. And so I want to cover also the native people, their nature, the Amazon, and the oil drilling in those areas as well. And you can follow us on my website right now, www.quinnstudiosentertainment.com. And keep on going with this journey. I hope it's a journey for all of us, and I know it started already for all of us, and it's beautiful that through the crisis we're all together. I hope I talk to you soon, Diane. And
absolutely, we're gonna see each other as soon as this is over.
Exactly. I look forward to rejoice in person all together as well. Yes.
I would love that. Definitely. Thank you for what you do, Valentina. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It's incredible. It makes a difference. And you inspire and empower people, to make a difference and make them think about a lot of things, about people around them, about what's going on in nature and how our actions actually impact the nature.
Thank you very much, Diane.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sending all my best wishes to Italy. My heart is broken. I have Italian blood in myself. My grandmother is Italian, so is my father.
Oh.
So yeah, it's really, really, but I know we're gonna go through all of these, and we're gonna get on the other side to the light, and things, whatever happened in our life, it's like an eye opener again. And I see improvement in people also, and I see huge difference. I kind of feel like things are going into the right direction, although we are facing a lot of darkness right now.
Absolutely, Diane. Lots of love to you, blessing to you and your family, and we will rejoice soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you to the listeners who are with us. The show is available to download for free. Please share it with everybody, and let's make this world a better place. Be safe, be happy, be healthy, stay at home, and I wish everyone amazing weekend. And it was a pleasure talking to you, Valentina. And I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Diane. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, bye.
Ciao, ciao.